User management is one of the key tasks to securing your database. It provides the rules for who can connect and what they can do after they connect. Keeping track of who can do what can become tedious, but it is necessary for data security. I'm Derek Downey from Distributed DBA. Today I want to talk about the MySQL 8.0 feature of user roles to help with user management. Everyone wants access to your data. Whether a new app or service is being developed, or the devs need to test some queries on a read replica, or the business analyst has some reports they need to run. And when someone leaves the company or a service is dropped, then that user needs to be removed to prevent issues later. As the database administrator, it is your job to make sure they get what they need without putting the data at risk. So, exercising the principle of least privilege, you grant each request. Historically in MySQL, user management has been a real pain. You create a user and the list of privileges that go with that user. Then you repeat that for the next user, even if the privileges are the same. This can lead to mistakes in users getting the wrong privileges. Perhaps the user has gotten too few permissions on the safe side and you have to reissue the permissions. Or perhaps they had too many and you didn't realize it until they dropped the production table. The good news is that MySQL 8.0 has introduced support for user roles. While MySQL 8.0 has been out a couple of years, and I am very late talking about this feature, I am still many years ahead of how long it took to get this feature into MySQL, because user roles have been an SQL standard for a long time. User roles allow a database administrator to specify a set of grants for each type of access. For instance, you might have devs that need to execute read-only queries against all schemas. So you might have a read-only role on all databases. Or your microservice application has limited write and read capabilities on a specific schema, but each service has its own database user. So you have an app read-write role. And you might have those business analysts that need to run their reports, so they also get the read-only role. Once the role's privileges are set, then you can create the user and grant that role to the user rather than the privilege string. Users can even have multiple roles to allow for more complicated privilege requirements without complicating user grants. User management can be a tedious operation for many database administrators, but it is an important function to protecting the data. For a long time in MySQL, you had to have potentially long privilege strings assigned to each user, and that was error-prone. As of MySQL 8.0, though, you can assign those privileges to roles and then assign users to those roles. Overall, I think that roles simplify user management for the MySQL Data Guardian.